Hello, Captains. It's me, TONIK TZW, and I've been on my free-to-play account this week because I pretty much finished the campaign for this week very early on. So I decided to finish off grinding the Jervis because on the free-to-play I want to get myself up to the legendary daring, so I needed to unlock the lightning. And this was my final game of the grind, and I don't think I could have ended it better because this did turn out into the best game so far that I've played in the Jervis on my free to play. Excuse me while I clear my throat. Right, what I was going to say, and try and put across to some of you new players that are out there, is that you don't have to invest a lot of money in premium ships because a lot of the tech tree ships are quite capable of handling themselves if you know how to play them correctly. Now, playing them correctly isn't necessarily watching and copying the style of somebody else on YouTube. It's about learning and finding a style of play that suits you in the ship that you are playing. I often look at what a standard build is, or perhaps what the most popular build is for a ship, and I will test it in the training rooms or in AI, and then I will tweak it or ask advice of friends and fellow gamers to see how they play it, and keep tweaking until I find something that suits me. Now, what you would have noticed at the start of this, when we looked at the commander and ship setup, there isn't anything special. I'm running Reginald Tirewit, who is a standard commander. As inspirations, I've got Eric Beer, who is 16 Legendary 1. And then I have got Jerzy Swirsky, who I think is level 12 Legendary 1. So the commanders aren't even maxed out on this build. There are no premium commanders. At tier 6, obviously, we don't get epic or legendary modules. So there is absolutely nothing special about this ship or its setup. It's all going to come down to finding out how I play it best, and this is going to be a good one. Now, the best thing that I found in this game is that, as you can see, that destroyer is getting shot at. Is that other people were also shooting at the destroyer. There are 3 destroyers in this game, and let me just tell you, there is only going to be one left at the end of it. Now, because I know that the team are happy to shoot at that destroyer, I don't want to be in the way of that Helena, which is why I'm asking people to shoot at it. I'm going to push him, see if I can keep him spotted, because it looks like I can out-detect him. But with a big smoke screen blocking the way, I'm trying to push forward a little bit more so that those guys are within the smoke, fire, and penalty range. We put a spread of torpedoes across that corner because I know from experience that people like to push in and tuck in that corner. The Helena tries to back out, runs straight into a battleship. The Bismarck is pushing up. We know he's got big secondaries, so what we don't want to do is to get detected by their destroyer and have the Bismarck's secondaries open up on us. So we put a couple of single spread torpedoes across there. Red team have been in and they've taken control of Charlie Cap, which isn't good for us. The Normandy is pushing in hard. We land, what is it there? 1 torpedo, we get a flood. Normandy looks like he is damage controlled because a quick look at my damage indicator at the top, it isn't ticking up, which means that that flood is not continuing. But we land another 2 torpedoes and another flood. That was on the Bismarck. And then we decide that we'll go onto the Normandy and rotate our guns through. Now it looks like I was the one potentially spotting the Normandy, but there is a ship here. I think it's the Renown, and he is going to pull an absolute blinder because that Normandy was a little bit quicker than I anticipated. He's putting his torpedoes out at the Normandy, and he's got another set flying across towards that Bismarck. The Benson is pushing in hard. I've no doubt he's going to turn and put torpedoes on, so we switch fire there too. Bismarck disappears, Normandy disappears. That is a double strike, and I do want to say it's the Renown, and he played brilliantly, and now he's turning and getting away from that Benson. That was a very, very ballsy move. I'm trying to get my eye in on this Benson, and it just seems to be that my aim is a little bit off at the moment. I know the Helena is still out there, I think, and I don't want to be on the receiving end of him, but they're more than interested in taking on the Renown. So he managed to avoid those torpedoes. The reason I was asking people to target the Helena is it's a nasty HE spammer. There's an Eastern Dragon out there as well. And, you know, these HE spammers, you need to get rid of them because they will burn you down to the ground. And I didn't know if this guy was running Will to Rebuild. And in the heat of the battle, realizing that we didn't have any capture points and we were at the time looking at falling behind on points, I decided that I would push and get into the cap. Meanwhile, we'll put some torpedoes out towards this Eastern Dragon to see if we can force him into a turn and get rid of him. Now, we lose our friend there, but there is another battleship behind us, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll keep this guy spotted, but the Eastern Dragon is broadside to me, so I'm going to give it a little whiff of armor piercing, because with a smoke screen out here, I have no doubt that that Eastern Dragon is going to fire his torpedoes through the smoke screen, thinking that the destroyer is going to sit in it. You know me, I don't like being a dope in a smoke. So no sooner have I given him the opportunity to fire his torpedoes than I'm going to get the hell out of dodge. I would have liked to have stayed on this guy a little bit longer and tried to pick up the kill. And all the while, I'm just watching his turn and expecting this battleship to absolutely yeet him from the map. But we've been in this smoke too long now, as we lose another ship. King George takes a hit, and I'm thinking, was the battleship shooting at the King George instead of the cruisers? And oh, look, there's the torpedoes. Yep, we made the right decision in getting out of there. So yes, guys, experience and playtime is probably going to do you as much good as spending money on premium ships and premium commanders. I have a much better win rate on this, although the win rate is determined by the team effort, not the individual effort. But we'll have a look at my end of grind stats for this ship. I have been running double boosters on it all the way up from the maximum upgrade. Oh, we take a bit of a shot from behind. We get reset. There's still two destroyers out there. We've got an Akatsuki. We've got a Mars. And the Mars is on an absolute blinder of a game. Now, although I can see the Akatsuki there, I don't really want to push him until I've got this cap secure. I'm thinking that battleship can surely take care of those two cruisers. There's the Mars. He's using his guns. He's on the limit of range. And I'm thinking, who do I go for? We're watching this timer tick down. We want to push out and try and bump these guys, because even if we can get rid of one of these destroyers, we can potentially try and pull the game back a little bit in our favor, because it's currently 5 ships plays 3. As those seconds count down on the cap, we're going to put our torpedoes out there. The Mars is coming out just before we fire. He disappears, so we've got no choice but to go on the Akatsuki. And again, nice to see big ships shooting at the destroyers. I don't know how this guy was spotted for so long and not killed, but we think one salvo at the Mars, that should do the trick. We can switch back to the Akatsuki. No, we don't kill the Mars, so we'll put one at the Akatsuki. We are running our sonar because we had it available. We know there's going to be torpedoes in the water, but we've probably saved a battleship by having that Mars fire his torpedoes at us, and the Akatsuki has done the same. Now, we've got plenty warning of those coming over, so we're going to push out, but that's only one spread, so we're going to have to be a little bit careful. But with 3 minutes on the sonar, 2 of them remaining, we can push this Akatsuki. He's stopped in the smoke screen. he isn't going to last all that long. And although a lot of shells do go in from the other guys, it's going to be us that picks up the kill. We now control all three caps. We are still down on points, but that will change. And I'm going to say, on the command wheel, everybody retreat. We can win this as long as we stay alive. Yes, that's what we need to do. But Mr. Veneto decides to get himself killed, which puts the game back in the favor. And that Colorado is not looking very healthy at all. The Eastern Dragon is still out there, as is the Helena and the King George V. So why the Veneto didn't put a salvo with those two cruisers, or if he did, I don't know, but he obviously didn't do a very good job of it, because that Eastern Dragon has got exactly the same amount of health that he had on him when I left to come onto the cap. Really, guys, guns off the map. Guns off the map. Now, just as I put a spread of torpedoes across there, thinking he's going to push the cap, he gets killed. And this guy is even lower health. Now, you know me, I'm a helpful kind of chap, so I'm going to push back towards this Colorado, and I'm going to look to see if he pops with his legendary skill and if he's going to start increasing his health, because I am looking to see if he has got will to rebuild. Because if he has, I can be his life support and keep him alive. But his health bar does not start increasing, which means there is no will to rebuild on there. And I have shown you in previous games that even though will to rebuild was massively nerfed, it is still practical for use in games. Honestly, it would surprise you. Now, I dump my last smoke screen here because all I want to do is try and give this Colorado a little bit of cover and the opportunity to open some distance and head for the back corner of the map. And you're going to hear me and see me pinging on the map, telling that guy, get back, head for the back corner of the map. We have got this one, because he's just put a full salvo at the King George and missed. And I'm thinking, okay, I could potentially pick up the King George. All you have to do is keep running. I'm keeping my eye on where that Helena is. The King George is getting further and further away. So I don't want to get counted away from the caps and give Red Team the opportunity to move in. But I need to be at a safe enough distance that I don't get killed by the Helena. But thankfully, the Colorado picks up the kill, but the Helena is onto him like a seagull on a bag of chips at the seafront. And I'm thinking, is he going to come through this gap here? Is he going to continue pushing? No, it looks like he's slowing down. He's going to use the island for cover. He's probably looking for a fire. And now we are going to play dangerous. We are going to try and draw his attention in our direction, because if I was him, I would be thinking, I can kill this destroyer, and I can take the cap, and I can burn that battleship down, and I can win the game and be a hero. Yes, you can. You really, really could. As I pick up a high caliber and a Confederate, which I think shows that I've had my work cut out. And I'm thinking, is he going to run round the corner and end up in front of that Colorado, which would be an absolute blinder to see him get deleted? But he's a clever player. I think he knows what I was thinking, because he slammed the ship in reverse and he's backing up. I was thinking, was he running sonar and expecting to catch me on the corner pushing in to try and get a kill? Well, if he was, he's sadly mistaken, because I'm sailing away from him. And his guns are looking back through the crack there, and I'm going to keep him in gun range, because all I'm doing here is farming cap resets, because I know that I can get away from him. The clock is in our favour, the points are in our favour, so even if he killed me, that Colorado is in a place on the map where this Helena can't get to him in the time that is remaining on the game. And I know that very shortly I will be out of detection distance for this Helena as we pick up a couple more cap resets there, and the clock is ticking down the final seconds. So, no special commanders, no special ships, nothing special at all, apart from the brain in my head, which I'm sure that many of my fleet mates would agree is very special. Spelt Speshul. Not a bad result, 105,500 damage, 3 kills, high caliber and Confederate, but the icing on the cake, 3,623 base XP, which is more than double second place. What I can't remember his name there, Resolution Homeboy or whatever. Excellent game there, picking up that double strike. And there's my stats with an average XP across the 20 odd games that I've played of 2002, which shows that I know how to play that ship, even though some people might disagree. So I hope you've enjoyed that one. A little bit of show and tell on free to play, just showing that you don't need to dump all your money into this game to be good. Play it, experience it, enjoy it. Until next time, take care of yourselves and goodbye.